Aloha everybody, how's it? It's Friday, and if it's Friday, it's Aloha Friday right here with the Sandwich Island Social Network. Enjoying the music of our good friend Brittany Paiva. Oh, she's so talented, that girl. Encourage you to download her music, Brittany Paiva. You see her name in the upper left-hand corner of our screen, P-A-I-V-A, and she would love it if you would download her music. She's got some new projects, so check out her music, download her music, support local musicians coming out of the Aina. And thank you, Brittany, for letting us use your music on the Aloha Friday show. Woo! What's up, everybody? Kamaka Brown over here with the Sandwich Island Social Network Aloha Friday show. Thanks for joining us. We see some folks have already jumped on. Welcome, welcome. Haole makahiki ho, if we never wish you Happy New Year last week. But you're here today, and you know what? We get a very, very special guest. Of course, all our guests are special, but this one, I'm going to totally go enjoy because we shared earlier on, before we went on the air, we shared some mo'olelo and some stories where our paths crossed virtually by means of a legendary artist and one of the founders of the Polynesian Voyaging Society. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. But in the meantime, we want to welcome you. Mahalo for joining us. And right now, coming all the way from his home in beautiful downtown Kalihi, Brother Brook Parker. Aloha, Brother Brook.
Aloha, Kamaka, how are you? Thank you for having me this morning.
Absolutely. Tell us, how are things in Kalihi today? You look out your window, things okay?
Well, we might be interrupted later by the Sons of Freedom. We have the Air National Guard F-22 Raptors that fly in sorties off of Hickam.
Yeah.
But Kalihi acts like an amphitheater. So if you hear that, it's totally out of my control. I don't know when they're going to go off. So
we gotta stop and salute or what? No,
we just kind of talk louder when they do.
Okay.
Usually doesn't last more than 3 to 5 minutes, but
okay. Maybe it's time for us to go lua. You know, when they go, we go lua and then we come back.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion too.
So hey, I'm flying back to Honolulu. Okay, and I took the red eye, and I get into Honolulu Airport around 8-9 o'clock. I am hangry, man. So I call you up, brother. I go say, hey, I like eat someplace. Where you gonna tell me go eat?
Well, because you're coming in late. Zippy's. Yeah.
Zippy's. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Korean chicken over there is always satisfying and a lot, or the chili chicken combo, or whatever you want, whatever floats your boat.
Oh. That garlic chicken sounds good.
Oxtail, you have to get oxtail too. But Zippy's is always a great standby. When my kids come home, we're empty nesters. They like to go eat Hawaiian food, so we go to Young's Fish Market and buy whatever they want. Kulolo's been rare lately. We haven't been able to get any kulolo from Kauai. I don't know, in a shortage, but they love that. They miss home, but food is.
Last time I was in Young's Fish Market over there, the kulolo's still warm, still soft, When you put your hand on top of the bug, it's still soft. It's like, oh, I stay salivating already. Stop it, bro. Just cut it out.
Or Helena's is 3 minutes walking from my apartment. So right around the corner. So you gotta watch the hours. They don't stay open late. So
Hey, we get Brother Marty Burns. He's saying Aloha Friday, everybody. What's up, Brother Marty? Brother Marty is a retired high school football coach over here in Southern California, and keeps connection with all of his players, even though he's retired. Every now and then he calls me up. He goes, hey, I get a couple of the boys staying with me over the summertime. We go grind someplace. And so some of his former players keep touch with him, even though they may be going to college elsewhere, stuff like that, playing ball. They still connect with their coach, which is a beautiful thing. And Brother Marty has been one of our supporters for since we started over here. Here's NTK Bennett, and he is saying, good morning to you and to me, Kamaka-san. Aloha, Etike. Thanks for joining us over there. And Etike is our monitor. She makes sure that the volume's all good and everything is fine from the west wing of the Kamaka and K mansion here in Simi Valley. I first became aware of your work, Brook, when some of your artwork was being displayed. In fact, the story that I heard was you and your lovely wife got an email inviting you onto a Zoom call that began you on a journey that took quite an interesting turn, and your artwork became synonymous with a project from Apple TV called The Chief of Wars. And you were commissioned to do 6 paintings over here. Can you tell us about this picture and what we see there?
Yeah, that was we heard about the movie because a lot of my friends that know me personally were calling. Some of them were trying out auditioning for parts. They wanted to know background characteristics of certain ali'i, and so I was aware of them filming, and a lot of my friends were already cast in the movie. But the call or the email came as a surprise. Like you were saying, we got an email if we're available for a Zoom call. The very next day, we went on that Zoom and then found out about the project and see if we were interested in painting portraits for the movie. And we said yes. My wife is not back yet from the doctor, or she'll be joining us shortly. But she handled all the paperwork and all the different things that Apple and the different people required for us to get the green light. Long story short, finally got the green light to proceed with the drawings on June 19th. I completed all the paintings by June 30th. They needed it back in LA July, the first week in July, and so we were able to finish all and they're all oil, 16 by 20 oil portraits, and Apple made sure that everything was according to what they wanted, and everybody was happy. But yes, because of this exposure, a lot of people outside of Hawaii are familiar with my work now, and so it's been great. And we got to go to the premiere and meet more people. So
yeah, and let's talk a little bit, if we will, about your background in painting and graphics. This goes back many years. Your father was also a painter, an artist, right?
Yeah.
How much of an influence did he have on you?
My dad, I come from a family of 6 sons. My mom was a stay-home mom, and my dad worked for a cement company, HC&D, on Middle Street for many, many years. He drove trucks. He ran the block plant. But on weekends, he had hobbies, and one of these hobbies was painting. And so growing up in my house, and Dad was also well-read, so we had a library full of Hawaiian books, art books, and also church books. And I learned my craft by watching Dad do his. I never got an art lesson from my father. Hawaiian style, you just watch and observe. And so as a little boy, 3, 4 years old, he said I used to grab the paper sack, extra paper sack, grocery bag, get my crayons and just watch. And as I grew older, we didn't have the cell phones or computers. I had a lot of comics, and so I learned anatomy from comics. And till this day, Conan comics is my favorite. That's why I have a gravity toward cool images, battle scenes, and stuff like that. So basically, that's how my art journey started, and never really painted until about 15 years ago with brush and oils, and that's a whole nother neat story. But basically, I just did color pencils and pen and inks, and I was blessed in the early 90s when Punana first started. They needed artists to do their children's books, so I was blessed to do over 40 children's books for Punana over the years, and so that's how it started. but painting only recently.
Yeah. I'm told you did try to take some art class at UH, but it wasn't quite what you were.
Yeah, when we first got married, we lived right behind UH in Pucks Alley, and so I signed up for a painting class. And not reading the fine print, it was a 4-week class, but it was a nude painting class, and I was like, oh my! I wanted to learn colors and all of that, but I ended up staying in the class, but just painting from her neck up or sitting behind them. Then I put away my brushes for about 20 years until I saw that movie, The Bucket List. Yeah, good movie, Morgan Freeman, and I said, I'm getting older now. I should try and paint again. And so I pulled out my old acrylic paint and I did a painting of Kamehameha and Kamanawa. It's my fourth great granduncles. Their older sister is my great grandma. And so when me and my wife were blessed with twins, we named our own twins after their granduncles. So I have a Kamehameha and Kamanawa, although they're girl boy, but they still carry their ancestor names. Been painting like a madman ever since, taking weekend classes when I could, and I was able to meet some wonderful, wonderful people. Uncle Herb Connie being one of them, and then also my other art dad, Edwin Caton. He's a prolific painter out of Puna. And so we just had lunch with Ed and Verna this past Saturday in Kona. I was up there getting ready for a show in Waimea coming up. But those are some of my other teachers, along with Patrick Ching and other people that have weekend art classes. But continue to learn with YouTube, and it helps me tell the stories that I grew up with about the ancestors. And so it really is been a blessing that I've been able to tell their stories visually, because I'm a visual learner. You can talk all day, but show me some pictures to help it stick. And a lot of times our ancestors, of course, we don't know how they look like because they lived, hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
But through their help, a lot of times when I paint the ancestors, the descendants come in. This is my great grandfather. This is how he looks like. How do you know? He looks just like your painting of Alapa'i or Naiole or the different people I paint. And I remind them it's not me, it's them.
Yeah.
That's how it comes up.
I want to say aloha to Alan Dela Cruz. What's up, brother Alan? Happy Aloha Friday. Oh, a new platform. Yeah, how we looking there, Alan? How we looking? Kind of sassy, huh? How we looking there? Brother Alan is one of our Sandwich Island social network ohana over there. And we have also Reason Cinco on board and watching. I think that's brother Don Kaokai. Brother Don Kaokai with Reason Cinco, one of our wonderful sponsors and supporters of the Sandwich Island Social Network. Reason Cinco. Mahalo, Brother Don. Good to have you on board. Yeah, you mentioned Herb Connie over here. Here's a picture of you and Herb Connie. Tell us about the influence that Herb Connie have on your work.
Well, as a boy growing up in the 60s and early 70s, I saw some of his artwork in the Dillingham calendars. He did a series of canoes. And during that time, we call it the first Hawaiian Renaissance, I guess. It's when Stop the Bombing of Ko'olawe was going on. You had the building of the Hokulea. You had the language coming back, and you had a group of Hawaiian artists that was gathered and formed by Uncle Rocky and Lucia Jensen called Halinawa. The original Halinawa was started by King Kalakaua when he was king. And so as a fifth, sixth grader, I was able to see other Hawaiian artists other than my father. I didn't know there were others. I probably knew, of course there were, but I didn't see any. And going to their first show at the AMFAC Center on Bishop Street, I was exposed to all this beautiful native Hawaiian art, not knowing someday I'd be following in their footsteps. And so as time passed, my dad became friends with a lot of these other artists. And so in the late 90s, Kamehameha Publishing sent me to Kamehameha schools to talk at a retreat they were having in Kona. And because I knew Herb Connie lived in Kona, I called my father and asked if I could meet his friend Herb Kane. And my dad, being my dad, he said that he's getting old now. He doesn't like anybody coming to his house, but he'll go ahead and call and see if he's available. He wasn't making any promises, but what happened? A couple of days later, he said that Herb Kane had agreed to see me, gave me his cell phone number, and I called and made an appointment. But before I hung up, I told my dad, thank you very much. But then my dad was very adamant. He said, when you go over there, don't be a pest. Don't ask too many questions. Ask before you take any pictures. So the picture you see is the only picture I took in his house, but he was kind enough to give me 3 hours of his time.
Wow.
And I showed him what we were working on for Kamehameha Publishing. At the time, they were redoing Samuel Kamakao's Ruling Chiefs. So 30 illustrations were being done for the reprint of Ruling Chiefs, which never got printed because of the fact they ran into a snafu where you have your two factions up at Kamehameha Publishing. The Kahakos should be this way, or the Kahakos without should be this way. So they couldn't agree on doing the reprint, and so it never went to fruition. But because of that meeting, I started painting a few years later, and Uncle Herb was kind enough to critique my work via email. I kept all his emails till the day he died. And I found out recently through another close friend of Uncle Herb Kane, Peter Apo, he was working on a big painting for Kioya that's now in the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. He died. He was not able to finish it. He had cancer. He told Peter to tell Kioya, and Peter told me this years later after he had already passed, that if Kioya wants the painting finished, have Brook finish it.
Wow.
And so that was a great honor coming from Herb Kane, but I'll forever ride on his shoulders and be in his shadow. There's only one Herb Kane. Only going to be one.
Yeah. I was sharing with you on Smokai and Mo'olelo of my interaction with Herb Kane when I lived in Kona and paddled for Kawikaʻole Canoe Club, and he was a patron of that club. I did not know at the time what exactly was happening, but all we were told was to be at the canoe shed, get the canoe in the water, a particular time, and it's very important, nobody be late, get on board. And we paddled out to Kealakekua Bay, and Herb Kane was in another boat taking pictures, they had a walkie-talkie on the boat, and the captain, Sandy Kahanamoku, had a walkie-talkie in the canoe, and they wanted us to position the canoe in a particular way. And I learned later that he wanted to make sure, he wanted to see how the sun reflected off of the water and how the sky looked and so forth. And you shared some wonderful addition to that, which I really, really love. Maybe you can share it with us here, because I just love that story too there, Brook.
As you share that with me, he shared that with me. He's a stickler for getting it correct. Okay. And so am I today. Even you look at my paintings, the back knuckle tie on when they're holding the weapon, all of that I learned. I didn't always know, but Uncle Herb was very adamant about doing it correctly. On that particular painting you're talking about, I'm very familiar with it. It's Cook's. When Captain Cook came to Kealakekua Bay, it's a huge painting that he was working on. And he told me that he even went back to the captain's logs to find out what the date was when they sailed in, and he used a generated program that went back to that exact date to tell him if it was high tide or low tide, if it was a sunny day or cloudy day. I said, geez. He took the trouble to do that, so I'm not surprised he had you guys in canoes and taking pictures. So you could get and the glistening right on the water. Amazing.
Yeah, and as a young man there, this was in the early '80s when I lived in Kona. You know, I was not ma'a to exactly why that was, how he was positioned the canoe and so forth. And when you shared that, I was going, oh my goodness, did not realize, you know, all of the thought process that he was going through to make that painting. Amazing. Truly amazing.
Yeah, he's truly missed.
Now, your family, you're Parker. That sounds so familiar. Parker Ranch, Big Island. Is this the same Parker? Or is this a different Parker? Oh, is that your?
My third great grandfather, John Palmer Parker, founded the ranch. He was a on a ship that traded goods to China. He got tired of the ship life. He was originally from Newton, Massachusetts, and his father and grandfather fought the British at Lexington Green on that very first battle, a shot that was heard around the world, because they lived right up the street in Newton, Massachusetts, and so that's my fighting Parker heritage there. He started the ranch in Waimea. He married Kamehameha the Great, one of his great-granddaughters, Keliʻikipikanekaolohaka. And so they
Wow.
started the ranch. Well, my great-grandfather left the ranch in the late 1800s. The royal family used to visit, and that's him, Robert Kamehameha Parker.
Aha.
Spencer. They had 18 children, but my great-grandfather Robert was good buddies with Leleiohoku, Kalakawa's little brother. Well, they weren't little at that time. They were about in their 19, 20 years old. The royal family used to visit the ranch, eat all the prime rib you can, free prime rib, shoot wild hogs, and gamble. And it was a break for the royal family away from Honolulu. But he talked my grandfather into coming back with him to be a member of his staff. He said, when my brother dies, I'm going to be the next king. So they lived with Princess Ruth at her estate. And unfortunately, Prince Leleiohoku dies of pneumonia or something. He gets sick at San Mateo College in California, San Diego. He dies at age 23.
Wow.
Grandpa stays here. He becomes captain of the guard at the palace. And so we're the Honolulu Parkers that don't have anything to do with the ranch today. But yes, that's my family.
Okay. I thought maybe if I drop your name, I can get Kamai a discount over there, but no, different.
No, I tried. I was just in my man. So,
yeah, let me see. We have C. Honda, a good friend of ours, saying aloha all to Ohana. Hi, C. Haole makahiki ho. I didn't get a chance to wish you Happy New Year. And we have C says, oh, Parker Ranch Heritage, my grandfather was a worker there. Wow. Very cool.
That's really cool. Today, the ranch is in a trust run by ranch families that have been there for 4 or 5 generations.
Wow.
You know, some of the more older names. You have the Lindsays, the Purdy's, the Lincolns, the Stevens, all of that clan, the Bells.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of families still in Waimea still have connections to the ranch. So yeah.
Everybody, Marty Burns says, would you happen to be related to Spencer Parker out here in California? Spencer is family of the Parkers from Big Island.
Marty Burns, that's my beloved brother Spencer, class of 85, Kamehameha schools. I just was on the phone with him yesterday. He's a captain in the Marietta Police Department down in Temecula. I love my brother Spencer very much. His name is all last names. His name's Spencer, taken from my great-grandma, Sarakoa Spencer. His middle name is Kauka, which is my mom's maiden name from Waipio Valley, and Parker. So Spencer Kauka Parker. Yes, we're related. He's my younger brother, which I love and I miss dearly.
Wow. Good one. Good one.
Yeah.
Talk about small world over here.
Thanks, Marty. You make me smile. I think of Spence because just talked to him yesterday. He called me on the way home from work. Yeah.
I love it. I love it when that comes together and Marty is typing in, that's him.
That's Spence.
Right on. You have also not just painting, but you've written or illustrated children's books as well. I mean, other media, as well. Tell us a little bit about that part of your art and graphics.
A lot of those children's books, it's neat because it's for the immersion school. The books have illustrations that look like them, so they can relate.
Yeah.
And they tell stories and different things like that. And a lot of times, as far as different the writers of the books, accomplished accomplished accomplishing things that are hard. If people in the book can do it, you can do it too. Yeah, and giving them that perseverance and support that they can do whatever they want to do if they work hard. And if it's pono, and when they do, the kupuna will come and help. They'll be there to support and help. So,
talking about people that look like us, or or people that look like you, or people, and especially for children, they can identify more, right? If they see visuals, or their heroes or their mentors look like them, right?
yes.
It gives them. And there was a story I was reading, and I'd like you to share. And this happened at you were at the Made in Hawaii festival, and toward the end, and there was this picture. Let me see. I want to make sure I bring up. I have quite a few of the pictures over here, but I want to make sure I have the correct picture here. No, not that one. My bad. Oh, here it is. I think this picture. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
you were.
a gentleman walked in the booth and he said, "Wow, who's that?" And I said, "Oh, that's my interpretation of Alapa'i Nui, Ka'owawa, the great Kohala chief, son of Ka'owawa Nui Amahi." And he was the one at the time that wanted Kamehameha extinguished because he wanted to protect his legacy. And of course, we know the story. Kamehameha was taken by a chief from Kohala, Naiole, and raised in seclusion. But the guy ended up looking just like my painting without the cacao or the uhi, saying that that was his ancestor. And that was probably the first time that happened because what was that painting done in 2011? I had just started painting in 2010. But
Wow.
time and time and time again, I've been getting comments from the ancestors, descendants, that the paintings look like their family. And so that's become a sacred stewardship for me because I know it's not me. It
So
just
he's
comes out
standing
like
there
that.
looking at the painting. He's going, "Wow, that look just like me." That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I took a picture with me and him, and he's holding it. But I said, "Wow,
Yeah, that's really amazing over here.
it is."
Oh, we have some friends. I have a dear friend of mine lives on Eva Beach. She goes, Uncle Kamaka, aloha. I have a classmate, David Parker, class of '81, Castle High. Okay, got to be your ohana too from Kaneohe side.
That's Spencer's older brother and my younger brother. That's my brother Dave. Yeah, they
Went to
had his class of '81. They
yeah.
had a really good basketball team. They should have took first place in the states, but
Uh-huh.
alas, but that's my brother Dave. Yeah, he's named after my father.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
there's six of them.
Again.
There's six brothers. See, and
Yeah.
so yep, yeah. Thank
There you
you
go,
for linking
Perline.
that as my brother Dave. Yeah. Married Lisa Gu. They live in Kailua by Kalaheo High School. Lisa Gu is a famous softball player from Kailua High School. So
Oh
yeah,
my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Perline, and we're all friends with their family. And last time I saw Perline, she came out to one of our shows at the Blue Note in November. So it was good to be home and seeing all
small
the
world.
friends over there. Yeah, 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 yeah. And let me see, we have a number. Oh, see, Honda's was talking about the art. She's going, oh, that's great art. Yes, 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 yes. You know what? We're going to take a smoke and break. And when we
Okay.
come back, we're going to show more of uh, the Brooks paintings, and he can talk about the illustrations. And I want to talk about, was it there's one with five warriors, and there's one with eight, and very powerful. And Brooke is going to share his mana'o and the energy behind those very powerful images that he's able to create. And we will be right back after these messages. Hang in there, gang.
I'm losing the sight with booze in my head. If you need me, I'll be gone. Left my phone plugged in at home. Said I'm higher than the sun. You ain't gotta be alone. I'll be staying poolside, sipping on that good life, soaking up the good vibes. In the summertime, if you need me, I'll be gone. Lost in paradise.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Reason5.com. Good friends of ours, Brother Don Kaukai, managing partner with Reason 5, and has supported so many of our events and the work that we do on the Sandwich Island Social Network. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. Lower right-hand corner of your screen is our website, sandislands.org. Go check it out. And if you would like to support the work that we do, there's all the ways in which you can right there on that website. So mahalo, Brother Don, and mahalo to reason5.com. We're back if you just joined us. We see so folks have just joined us. We are here with Brook Parker, and my goodness, we've talked about some pretty interesting things and made some interesting connections right here on our conversation, huh, Brook? Wow.
Let me share one quick story about my brother Dave.
Please.
And this is an example to show, I guess, when you come from an island, everybody knows somebody, but it's how you treat other people and trying to be good, okay, trying to be a live aloha. I'm at the Honolulu airport. All my children are, they live on the continent. Two of them are coming home for spring break. They're at college at BYU Provo. My son is on the football team, Kamehameha. And I see them on the side. I'm at the airport picking them up, but a lady in front of me is on her phone, so I cannot move forward. So I give her a love tap to remind her that it's open, that I need to pick up my two kids. And so she moved and she went, and then I parked and I got out to help my children, Kamehameha and his sister Breezy, in the car. And a gentleman, I'll use the term loosely, that lady was picking up, called over to me. He said, why did you beep at my wife? He goes, I said, I'm sorry, sir, but she was on her phone. I need to go. She goes, and then he swore at me.
Oh.
And I said, excuse me? He said, you don't know who you're messing with. I come from one of the biggest gangs in LA. And I said, you know what, brother? I don't care where the hell you come from. You act like that, you go home. You don't know how to behave. You're not welcome here, bro. Yeah. So in the meantime, my son is flying over. He's ready to pounce. He's wearing his BYU hat, his football shirt. I pulled him back. There's people filming us already now. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a security guard at the airport comes right in. He grabs me. He goes, Uncle, are you related to the Kamehameha Parkers? Now, this is COVID, so I have my mask on. I have a hat on, and all I can see is my eyes and the height. And so I look at that. What a strange question. I said, yes. He goes, Uncle, you don't know me, but your brother Dave was my coach at Castle. I love your brother. He was kind to all of us. Don't worry about this guy. I got him. He's not working. Go, Uncle. And so I looked at him. I hugged him. I said, thank you for keeping Uncle off the 6 o'clock news. I probably would have did something I regret. And thanks to my brother Dave and one of his former players that he coached, I was saved. That's not, yeah. That guy was working that special spot. He saw my height, figured I'm a Parker from Kaneohe. You can't make that stuff up. Save me from being on the 6 o'clock news and my son. So
well, we're glad you weren't on. We're glad you weren't on the news for that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Me too.
But you have been on the news for other things and connected to your artwork. Now, I have this over here, Brook, I want to share. And this is you and your lovely wife, I believe, going to the mausoleum. You make these visits. Is this, you find some inspiration, some connection when you make these visits to the mausoleum?
Oh, definitely. That's where our ali'i are residing now. And when I have an important project, in fact, when we were doing that project for Kamehameha Publishing, I went up to Mauna Ala. I talked to Uncle Bill Maioho. He was the curator we're all cousins, and ask him about his feelings on which painting should get illustrated, characters and different stuff like that. But I always go to Senior Kupuna to ask their mana'o to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I pull and pray on my own too. But it's always good to talk to somebody living, yeah, a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
But Uncle Bill's not here anymore. Unfortunately, he's passed on. And so,
one of the things I also noticed talking about Uncle Herb Kane, and I believe it was his painting of that epic fight up at Nu'uanu, in which that epic decision-making battle showed female warriors in there. If you look, you will see women in there. And that stirred some conversation about how accurate that was, whether there were actually wahine that were in the battle. Here is one of your paintings. Talk to us about this.
A lot of times, specifically, Kaiana's wife, Kekupu Ohi, he loved her very much. He taught her how to shoot American musket, the Brown Bess, Kentucky rifle. She was a crack shot. She taught her buddies how to shoot, and they shot better than the men. Kamehameha made a special squad of Wahine sharpshooters that was influential in his armies. But in the ancient days before black powder was introduced, yes, the women did fight next to their husbands. A lot of times they were more ferocious in battle. And I liken it to National Geographic, the mama grizzly bear. You watch what happens when you play around with her cubs. Watch what happens. Yeah,
wow.
Shame. And so you might want to have a debate on that. People want to debate, but I don't really want to debate on that subject. I'd rather take a nap. It's more conducive to my health. The more the people talk, the more I don't know. The more I know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
but historically and factually, there are people like Herb Kane, who was, like you say, a stickler for details, did much of his research, as you do as well. It is historically based, fact-based, and that's a beautiful thing, there as well. I've got this, which is pretty amazing. Tell us about these 5 warriors there, Brook.
That's my interpretation of Liloa and his son, Umi. Umi's in the middle, Liloa's on the right side, and Umi's companions that he chose when he was growing up. On the far left is Pi'imai Va'a. That was his champion. Next to that is Ko'i, or the keeper of the bones. He was entrusted in hiding the bones. Behind them is Hi'ilave, so you know that is Waipio Valley. And then that other gentleman between Umi and Liloa is Omau Kamau. He was the messenger, or the Kakaolelo, or the orator.
Wow.
So I try to do, I've done a lot, different ali'i and their ahaula, or their council of chiefs. Ahaula means aha is court, ula is red. Also synonymous for the family or blood ties that keep these group of distinguished people together, connecting them with each other and to their ancestors in the heavens. That's what ahaula means. Aha, cord, ula, red, or the blood ties. That's what I was taught.
Amazing detail as well, as you look, and these prints are available on your website.
Yeah, you can go on Hawaiian at art, ATART, or just look for Brook Parker Hawaii art. You'll find my website, and then different videos we've done over time with different people talking about the ancestors. And before I forget, I was in the mainland walking in the mall, and I had a gentleman come up to me. He grabbed me, a stranger, and I looked at him. He said, "Hey, you that famous Hawaiian artist, huh?" And I said, "Sorry, sir, not me." And I kept on walking, and then he grabbed me, and he said, "Bro, I just saw your videos. It's you." And I said, "You know what, bro? I don't mean to be sassy or anything like that, but the people I paint are famous. Yeah, I'm just a 6'5" road sign. Learn about them, duplicate their good deeds, learn from the negative. That's all I am. So I'm not comfortable being on a podcast, center stage. I rather work the curtains and the spotlight. I've always been like that. It's them that should be noticed. And I was told one day too, bro, if not you, who? I said, okay then. Okay. And I get comments from Hawaiians that come up to me and said, how do I feel making money off the ancestors? One of those guys. Yeah. I said, well, you might want to have that conversation with people that go to Japan and teach hula. I said, what's their intentions? What I think to honor my ancestors, yeah. They're my direct ancestors. I love them and they love me. They help me when I tell their stories. How do you take care of your family? I turn it around. Or I get guys that come in the booth. They say, "Oh, that's my ancestor. He's all we call that dantaran, right? Oh, we come from that royal line, blah blah blah." And I said, "Yeah, bro, you're right. But let me ask you a question." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Are you married?" "Oh, what kind of person?" I go, "Bro, yes or no?" "Yeah." "Are you a father?" "Yeah." I said, "Are you good to your wife? Are you a good husband? Kind to your children? You're a good neighbor?" I said, when we talk about the ancestors, all those accomplishments belong to them. That's not you. I said, if it inspires you, if it helps you, then good. Then I ask them, when you look in the mirror tonight, you ask yourself this question: what kind of ancestor are you going to be when they talk about you? And so it's different now. It puts it into perspective. If it embodies you, if it helps you, great, but that's still not you. Yeah. And on the same regard, those that carry our ancestor names, yeah, I believe we'll all have an accountability report interview with them someday when we see them again, and they're going to ask us, "What have you done with my name?" Some of us may want to hide under a rock because we could have done a lot better, but most of us will say, "I did the best I could with the talents I had to add honor and a respect to your name and memory." And that's what I want to say when I meet my ancestors. So I live my life every day trying to portray that. And, once in a while, monkeys fall out of trees. We have incidents at the airport where you get close to that. But at the same time, it's just all about living aloha. That's all.
This is true. Yeah, that's all. Here's another one. And these are 8 warriors. Tell us about this. Look at this energy and this is I love this.
Yeah, and Chief of War, they talked on it briefly. They talked about a chief, Oʻahu king. His name was Kahahana. He was put in office by his uncle Kahikili. Kahikili raised Kahahana when Kahahana was a young man, and the Oʻahu chief was removed, and Kahahana put in as king of Oʻahu. All Kahikili wanted in return was the lands of Kualoa, because in those days and even today, that's where the sperm whales went to die, and that's where you could harvest the teeth to make the palawa. Okay, when Kahahana got back to Oʻahu, his kahuna nui forbade that. He said that's what makes Oʻahu strong. Kahikili was not happy. Kahikili's kahuna nui was the little brother of the Oʻahu kahuna nui, Kaleo Pulupulu. He started planting lies in Kahahana's ears, saying that his brother, the kahuna nui, will want to take over. Kahahana believes the lies. He kills his kahuna nui. Before he kills his kahuna nui, the kahuna nui curses him and says, "You will not have any increase." After the death of the kahuna nui, Kahikili sends 600 of his pahapu, or his shock troops. 8 of the Oʻahu warriors do a commando raid on the 600 that are camped at Waikiki. The Maui invaders look at these 8 and say, "This must be a joke. There's 600 of us. Come on. We'll help you meet your ancestors today." These 8 killed hundreds and hundreds of Maui guys. They were all expert lua men. And they never saw the movie 300. They never heard of Sparta. But this is their own version. Yeah. They all lived to fight another day. Kahikili is full strength now, 15,000 warriors. The Oʻahu armies do really good. They kill one of Kahikili's favorite generals, which causes Kahikili to commit genocide. And according to the history books, the kahuna's curses came true. The Oʻahu lines came to an end. Everybody was killed. The remains burned. I had the painting at the Hawaiian convention at the convention center. It was a 4-day event. On the last day of the event, a gentleman walks in my booth. He points to the gentleman in the middle. He tells me, "That's Pupuka." I said, "Yes." I said, "How do you know that?" He said, "That's my name. that's my tutu man.
Oh my.
Yeah, I pause. Wait, I'm thinking the history book says everybody died. He's saying this is his tutu man. So I make a joke. I said, yeah, Pupuka means you ugly, yeah? When your parents give you that name, but you're not ugly. It's a curveball, so the evil spirits don't bother that baby. He goes, yeah, you know what? He goes, you the artist? I go, yeah. He goes, I saw you putting the painting up the first day. I was talking to my tutu man. Pause. What are you talking about, bro? He said they all came to see the painting.
Oh my.
Wow. I said, and? He said, they're happy. Somebody is remembering them. He said, do you know who Pupuka was? I said, at the time, I was not sure. I said, was he one of the generals? He said, yes. But he was Kahahana's son. And it was his idea to do the commando raid. Of course, you know, they all did really good, but all end up dying except him. He escaped to Kauai, changed his last name. That's why you're talking to me.
Oh my
I
goodness.
said, brother, that's not going to be in the books. He said, of course it's not going to be in the books. I said, what is your guy's new last name? He said, Ma Kaneoli, or man without a family. Ma, family, close associates, or vanquished. Kane, man, Oli without. I said, thank you for sharing that. 2 years ago, I'm on Kauai in Waimea town, sharing the stories with the kids and different lectures I had. I'm at Waimea Middle School, sharing the same story. The bell rings. I couldn't finish the story. The kids are walking out to the next class. A girl is standing on the side with her hand on her hip. She doesn't look too excited. She tells the teacher, I need to talk to Anakala. I need to ask him a question. All the students left the class. I said, yes, sweetie, what's the matter? She goes, you forgot to tell us the new last name. I said, yes, the bell rang. I couldn't finish the story. What's the new last name? She said. I said, Ma Kaneoli, or man without a family. She says, that's my last name. I look at her. I said, can I get a hug? She hugged me. I said, baby, what's your first name? She said, Kulia Ikanu'u. Striving for the summit, never give up.
Oh.
You can't make it up. The final night, I'm at the community center. Over 150 Hawaiians came to hear the lecture. And she brought her mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa. They wanted to talk to me. The mom comes to me. She tells me, when my daughter came home yesterday, she was so excited. She never talks to anybody. She's very quiet at home. So I was surprised something happened. She says, Mommy, you got to meet Uncle Brook. He knows our story. He has pictures. So the mom told me, even after all of that, the Makanaoli family continued to be hunted down and killed. There's very few of them left today.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about. Things that happen. No coincidence. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. They love to be remembered.
C. Honda is expressing exactly what I was going to say. Chicken skin.
And all that is, to me, chicken skin is confirmation, Ho'ailona, from their ancestors, confirming what is being said. That's all it is.
You know, you mentioned you were at a school there in Waimea. And I know this coming week you are going to be at UH Manoa. There's a conference or a gathering of coaches over there. And you do these school visits and community gatherings. And generally, what are the things that you talk about that you feel are important to convey to people that come to these sessions here, Brook?
I think the most important thing is learning from the past, not dwelling in it, but learning from the past, the negative and the positive. And I really believe the special thing about being in Hawaii, I met a lot of people that from all over the world, a lot of deep pockets buying on Kauai, Lanai, even in Waimea. But why is that? There's other beautiful places. I believe because of that aloha spirit that resonates here. Our ancestors are revered. They always were, just like the Japanese revere theirs. But here, I also believe they're not here physically, but they never left spiritually. And they will come and help you if you should need assistance. They're happy when we're happy. They're sad when we're sad. But they're here to assist, like they help me in the paintings, like they help me telling the stories. They can help a guy like me. They can help you too. And that's my message.
Yeah.
I'm nobody special. It's universal. They love and aloha for all of us. And so that's the message. Yeah.
Wow. True that. our friends from Reason Zingo go, wow, responding to that story, and as well as the work that you do, which is so amazing. Oh, I cannot believe an hour has gone by already. Us guys, we just started talking story over here. Mahalo, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you have a lot of projects you're working on, Brook, but we appreciate you accepting our invitation for come and vala'au with us. In fact, kind of deeper than vala'au, it's kind of kuka here. We start getting down to the nitty gritty about the inspirations behind the work that you do as well. So excellent. Thank you so much. All right, thanks so much and our aloha to your wife. I hope she's fine. I hope she's okay.
Yeah, too.
We'll maybe some trip when I come back to the Aina, we get together and we go Zippies for that garlic chicken maybe.
Or if the other stores are open, a lot of restaurants are open depending on what time you have. Sure.
Okay. All right. Hey, mahalo for all of our friends dropping in and giving us their aloha. And hey, we had some reunions over here with your brother and with some of your
funny, man. Yeah.
Go figure, right? Okay, everybody. Ahui ho. Until next time we see you on the Aloha Friday show. We say aloha malama pono and ahui ho, everybody. Woohoo!
Thank you.